A pleasant, God bless, good morning to you, beloved, from all around the world. And I want to express my gratitude, my humble gratitude for all the many people to whom I've shared my previous video and have viewed the videos. I am so delighted, I am so honored, I am so happy that you caught on to the message and that together we can make a difference. Together we can put Jesus back into Christianity. Together we can claim back the morals that God had so set forth in this book that we can be proud of. Together our young people can be attracted to the church. They can come back to the church. Children would be happy and joyful going to Sunday schools and praying and thanking Jesus. Together we can do that. Let us endeavor to reclaim our spirituality. I want to thank you for all of the messages, of the support. I'm really honored. And before I get to the meat of the subject today, last night while I pondered, because before I bring a video, when someone shared a story with me, before I actually get the story out, I have to meditate and ask the Spirit of God to guide me, to involve me in the inspiration, to let me know what I need to say, how I need to address the issue, so that the message will be conveyed. And whilst I slept last night, in my dream, a lady came to me, dressed with a wonderful garment. I cannot describe it. It's beautiful. And she says, "Rabbi, wake up and speak." So I said, "Madam, I'm not Rabbi. I'm Kenny Warner." She says, "Rabbi, wake up and speak." And she gave me a stick, something like a rod, but she gave me a stick. She says, "Go and speak." And she disappeared. Today I want to say this with the authority that God has given me, the Spirit of God has granted me. I want to say this, that Jesus gave salvation. Jesus gives salvation. The gospel according to Jesus is the gospel of salvation. That's it. There are no prosperity gospel. There are no gospels to get rich. There are no gospels to get a husband. There are no gospels to get a car. There are no gospel to get a house. There are no gospel to get healing. There is only one gospel, and that's the gospel of salvation, that Jesus admonishes his disciple to go spread the gospel according to him, which is the gospel of salvation. Everything else is a hoax. Everything else is false. It's not according to Jesus, because Jesus never preached a prosperity gospel. He never did. So these people who are preaching that, they are marketing their own ideas for profit. Which brings me to the story. And I pray God that I don't get upset when I'm sharing these stories, but I can't. I'm human. I can't help it. These things really gets to my nerves. I can't help it. This very kind-hearted, very sweet lady, she has been in the church for quite a long time. Unfortunately, she has 3 kids and no husband. But like every other relationship, there were their challenges. There were challenges. And she stood up for what she believed in, so she did not stick with the men who abused her. As a result of that, she ended up with 3 children and no husband. So guess what? The church that she's going at often preaches prosperity gospel. And the pastor, a matter of fact, in this church, they usually have 2 lines. One for couples, one for singles. And as we know, the churches are dominated by single women who in their heart want to be happy like the other married woman, want to have their own family, want to raise their own family, want to be proud of what they can attract. So this church, this pastor is exploiting that. He's taking advantage of it. And as a result of that, they have 2 lines. One for singles, one for couples. And the single people line, the ladies, or men, but let's stick with the ladies, they have to give special offerings to get a husband. Special offerings. And the offerings they have to give, it is from 1,000 SRD up. So this lady I'm talking about, she gave 1,000 SRD because she wants a husband. Like every single woman who wants to move on with their life, they want a partner. So she wanted a husband. She wanted a special husband that her heart fantasized and admire and desire. She talked with the pastor who knew her well, and she gave that money. Again, like every woman, there are men who come after them on Facebook, on the road. So she knew that this couldn't be God sending these men after she put this 1,000 SRD. So she went to the pastor after a few months and says, "Pastor, I don't see any results." And the pastor told her, bigger the gift, bigger the reward. And you cannot expect God to give you the man of your dreams for 1,000 SRD. For 1,000 SRD. Desperate, and she believed what he says. She says, "All I have is my house." And he says, God is going to send you a rich man who is going to buy you houses and lands and sow a seed of that house that you have. And she sowed the seed of the house that she has for her children, that she got from her mother and her father who has passed away. They must be crying in their grave right now. She signed her house over for him. It has been a year. Between that time, a man came into her life. She later learned that the man is a relative of the pastor. And the man came into her life knowing exactly what to do and what to say. So she thought her prayers were answered. The sowing of the seed of her house paid off. She thought so. When she discovered the man was the relative of the pastor, she asked, how is it that he knows all these things? Because the pastor told him. The pastor set up his relative to deceive and trick the woman because he had to deliver. He took her house, so he had to deliver. And he set up this junkie of a man to deceive this woman. And guess what the man did? He tricked her to fall in love with him, slept with her, got her pregnant, and then hello, keep the noise down. Then start abusing the woman. After 6 months, she did an abortion and she ended the relationship. She went back to the pastor and says, listen, I want my house back because the man you sent is not a man of God. He could never be a man from God because he's abusive. Pastor said, no, you can't get the house back because you sow the seed of faith. And your faith is what was responsible for you attracting. The pastor even accused her that it was her own imagination that drew that kind of man to her because her imagination was worldly. She wanted this bad boy. Let me get to the meat of it right now. I want to talk to you people. The previous video that I shared, a lot of people are calling me. Pastors are calling me. And they're telling me I need to read the Bible more to understand that the church needs to take care of the pastor and the pastor has to do what they have to do so they can pay the bills of the church. That is bull crap. That is bull crap because Jesus admonished his disciples to go into all the world and he says to his disciples, take nothing with you. Because how can you spread the message if you are hooked up to this property and this Lexus and that Mercedes-Benz and so much millions in the bank? How could you effectively spread the gospel when you are hooked up to all of these wealth? You're not free to move around. So in Jesus's wisdom, he told them, don't take anything. Believe in God and God will take care of you. That's what he told them. I'm not here to teach the gospel of Paul or the Apostle Paul, or the church. I'm here to teach the gospel according to Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you, these prosperity criminals, these pastors, these hoax, these false prophets, these demons, they are liars. And I'm telling you, sir, because right now a lot of you are watching my videos, A lot of you pastors here in Paramaribo, I'm telling you, give the woman back her house, because if you don't do that, I'm going to call your name. I'll let the public know what church you go to. Give her back her house. And ladies, listen to me carefully. Jesus offers salvation. Salvation so that you can have the chance to enter the kingdom of God here and beyond. Jesus don't offer husbands and wives. Jesus don't offer houses and cars and lands. God give you talents. God create the situation so that you can have the opportunity to pursue these things on your own. God gives you the initiative so that you can make ventures. You can apply places. He blesses your path so that it can be cleared. But he don't physically send Tom and says, Tom, you go to that. You are trying to apply the story of the prophets, where their fathers found them wives and things like that. We are living in the time right now where we're living in a dispensation of grace, and Jesus is concerned about salvation. Not how much money you make at your job. Not what kind of wife or husband you get. Salvation. So I want you to understand. The lady lives at Quatawek. I don't know her address. The church she goes to, used to go to, is in the city of Paramaribo. I'm calling on that pastor to return that woman her property. Now the lady is living in a rented house that is owned by the church. Look at the irony. She gave her property to the pastor to get a husband, and instead she get a loser, a junkie, and now she has to turn back and rent a house from the church to which the pastor single-handedly owns everything. I have the greatest respect for Adventism, for the Catholic Church, for the Anglican Church, for the mosque and the Hindu. I have the greatest respect because they are an organization, not one individual owns it. They are regulated, they are controlled, they are monitored. I have the greatest respect. But these independent churches, where these pastors are fleecing the people, robbing the people, they need to be shut down. The government needs to step in and tax these people, check their books and see what they're doing and shut them down. And you people cannot sit idly by and see this happen to you. You have to rise up and demand respect. You have to close these churches down and find churches that are better organized, that can award you. God says tithes and offering, 1/10. If it's 1,000 SRD you're working for, 100 SRD only goes to the church. Not your whole salary or half your salary. Salvation is not something you can buy. You cannot buy blessings. You cannot pay for God to bless you. Who are we to tell God who to bless and who not to bless? Who are we? Who is that pastor or that bishop or that so-called prophet to tell God, bless her with a husband, bless him with a wife? They don't have the authority. They can't tell God what to do. You have to wait on God and live. If you want a husband, market yourself properly so men will be attracted to you. If you want a wife, market yourself properly so women will be attracted to you. Let your lifestyle attract the person that you need. God is not going to send you a husband. You have to attract the kind of person you want. But you're there fabricating in your mind and fantasizing you want this perfect guy, then you have to make him yourself. The first step into achieving is to ask yourself, what do you have to give to the other person? What do you have to give to the other person? Not what the other person has to give to you. If that's your approach, you will never find the right person. You will be single for the rest of your life. God don't give husbands and wife. God gives salvation. I want to thank you for your support. I do not have a church building that everybody wants to come. I am believing that God when it is right, provide that so you can come and fellowship. But right now, my church is where you are. My church is here. You are my followers. I want to thank you for your support. I want you to give your support, your donations to your neighbor, to your family, to that person next to you who needs it. I want you to help the sick. I want you to help the children, the homeless. I want you to help the people who need that help. Impress them. I don't want you to impress me. God don't want you to impress him. Impress the people that you see every day. And if you have leftover, then of course, you can support what I'm doing. But bless the people you see first, every day, in your house, in your community, in your workplace, in your schools, wherever you go, bless them first. Support your local church first. Then I can accept your support. But do not skip these people to come to me. Go to your church, find a Bible-believing church, serve there, respect the leaders, only if they respect you. And understand that you cannot pay for blessings. You cannot pay for blessings. Whether somebody give $1 million or give $1, God blesses us all equally. These pastors and bishops and prophets who are telling you about prosperity gospel, they're liars, they're thieves, they're criminal, and they need to be stopped. They need to be stopped. And I will make sure that they're stopped. But you have to help. You have to stop giving them your money. You have to change the churches. You have to believe that God can bless you without money. Read your Bible. It's all here. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Keep bringing the stories. And before I go, I am not disclosing the people who share stories with me. It's called confidentiality. I have to respect their privacy. So if you want to share your story, if you want to tell me what's happening in the churches today, you can send me a message, you can call me, and I'll be very happy to address it. But I will not disclose the people who bring these stories to me. If the churches don't comply, I will call the names of the churches. But for now, Suriname is a wonderful country. Paramaribo is still the city of smiles. So if you're watching, come on down to Suriname and enjoy the lovely spoils that we have here for you. Goodbye now.